Happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. My name is Maria Milagros, and this is a little space I like to carve out to share different tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, stories, anecdotes. That was weird. And hoping that the things that I share, once put into practice and consistently put into practice, help you move the needle, even if it's 1 degree at a time, to new levels of healthy and happy for wherever you are in your life. Because the truth of the truth is that is always our goal, is to get to new levels of healthy and happy. That's why we think we need the fancier car or the fancier phone or the whatever, name it, right? A lot of times people think that in having those things, it's going to fill them with some happiness. And sometimes it's short. It brings a moment of like, oh, I'm so happy that I got this, or I have this, or I look so cute in this. Yes, but really happiness is an inside job. So during the month of August, we've been talking about different ways to use the construct of time for our benefit, to manage ourselves and our priorities accordingly so that we can plug them into the construct of time. If that doesn't make sense, go all the way back to the first video that I had at the top of the month. So we want to make sure that 1, we know what our priorities are. Then 2, we want to give ourselves permission in the room to chunk down the bigger task. A lot of times we feel really overwhelmed with the bigger task or the big to-dos, and then it feels so overwhelming that we do nothing. Well, when we take a moment to get really clear about what that entails, and then we just start chipping it away little by little, then we start building momentum, which has compound interest. We start making moves. We start building discipline. Things start getting done, right? The third week, we talked about the importance of making sure that we block our time. I would love to say that most people just like, I'm going to do this, and then they go and they get it. No, that's not usually how it happens. Because we are so easily distracted, and I'm not just talking about people with ADD and ADHD. I'm talking about as a populace. We are very distracted because we spend a lot of time on social media. We're constantly looking for multiple levels of stimuli because of things like our social medias, because of the news, because of TV, And so we are very easily distracted. And because of that, it is important that we do not allow our use of time to be organic. It's why a lot of people don't use their time wisely. On their own report and testimony, not me saying you're not using your time wisely. I am not the judge of that. But people have reported like, oh, I need to get better at using my time. Well, then you have to also get better at blocking your time. And there's a whole video about the importance of blocking our time, what that means, and then little techniques and tweaks that we can do to make sure that that happens. We dedicate the time to our priorities, whether it's our relationships, whether it's a project, whether it's something with our career and work. When we block out the time, remove our distractions, again, we're more likely to start building momentum and creating compound interest, which has massive benefits in the long run. Last week, I did a mini workshop. It's about a 20-minute video, and it's all about getting rid of your excuses so that you're actually getting really clear about what you want and why you want it, which helps us move the needle. A lot of times we have excuses that are justifiable, and I'm doing this because they are. They're real legitimate reasons, and they're still excuses. So there's that. I remember when my daughter was little, we were talking about we were doing something, and she was playing and singing the whole time. And I said, not everything is always fun and games. And she said something like, well, then if it can't be fun and games, why are we doing it? And I was like, because, oh. And for me, it became a really important thing that I recognized that I was raised very serious. Like when you're cleaning, you're serious. Everything is serious except not necessarily when you're cleaning, because we blast music when I was growing up, but everything else you had to be quiet and serious and sit still and get it done. And then my magical little child was like, why? If we can't play and do it for fun, why are we doing it? Whoa. And so I had to become really intentional about creating fun and joy in my life with and for myself first and foremost, and then hopefully creating spaces that other people can participate in that are also fun and joy. So I have 2 quick nuggets for you. 1, please make sure that you're infusing fun and joy in the spaces of your lives. And yes, there are some pockets that should be serious. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that you can't have fun and joy. And I was just saying to a friend yesterday, I find joy in confrontation. Not meaning I want to fight everybody, but when we are able to have a hard conversation and we are in relationship and we are able to confront an issue and hold each other accountable and unpack it, yes, it's hard work because hard work is hard work, but there's a joy in that knowing that we're both committed to the relationship. Like we're both willing to set our egos aside and to step up and like have hard conversations. For me, that brings me joy, right? So there's still ways to find ways to connect to our joy and to fun when we're doing our to-dos. And we should, because we only have the one life. And if we're always waiting for the big moment to celebrate or to have fun, then we're missing out on a huge proportion of our lives that we could be playing and having fun while still doing the things, right? So that's my first thing. Please, please allow yourself permission to have fun and to find joy in the pockets of whatever it is that you're doing. And then the second is please do something every day to move the needle. Do something every day when it comes to your priorities, right? So we should not have 19 priorities. That's unrealistic. Let's say you have 3 to 5. You could move the needle on 3 to 5 things every day, for sure. If one of them is get better at connecting with my friends, I could send a text every day. And the text doesn't even have to be a text thread that goes back and forth. Like, hey, my day is full. And I just paused and I was thinking about you and I'm sending you love and I want you to know I'm so excited for us to hang out on Saturday, right? It's a thing every day and it took a minute. There's something that we can do every day to move the needle little bits at a time. Because when we are doing that, again, we are building momentum and we are creating discipline. If I know that every day I have to chip away at this thing for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 1 minute, and it becomes a thing that now is always in my mind. And I'm using my technology to help me stay accountable. I'm using alarms. I'm using my calendar, right? Then every day it chips away. I have been doing Duolingo for 1,200 days. Even if all I have is 5 minutes, it's important to me to learn Spanish and to be fully fluent, right? So some days I have more time. Some days I literally have 5 minutes. I remember one night, it was like 11:45, I'm about to go to bed, and I was like, something is missing. Duolingo! And because I've been doing it for so long, it's there. And now I don't need the alarms anymore. Granted, that day was really full, and it took me till the end of the night, and I still got it in on time, and I did about 15 minutes. It's little bits every single day that's going to help you move the needle to whatever it is you say is important to you. Do not forget that. Tiny amounts. If Toni Morrison wrote Beloved in 10 to 15 minute increments every morning before she went to work, you and I need to have less excuses, right? Tiny movements every day. Find joy and fun. Block your time, chunk it down, know what your priorities are so you know what direction you're working in, and continuously practice the space of self-awareness so that you are not allowing your excuses to dominate you and to limit your life, the life that you deserve, and the life that you can create. That's all I got. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I hope you have a magical rest of the month. It's only a couple more days, and I'll see you next month. Peace.